Hello, viewers. I am Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal. Stands before you with a very important topic of paper number 9, which is public policy and administration in India, where there is a topic known as types of public policy, scopes of public policy, and models of public policy. Today's video mainly relates with three important aspects of public policy, that is types of public policy, scopes of public policy, and different models associated with public policy. I request my viewers to watch this video attentively so that your doubts about the types of public policy, scopes of public policy, and models of public policy will be clear. I request you to watch this video attentively. Again, I want to inform you that in my channel, all the videos are in Odia and English. You should not feel that my videos are in Odia or in English. For the students of Odisha, it is in Odia video I am presenting, and for other students, rest of Odisha, and those who are English medium students, for them English videos are provided. I am providing. So now we'll discuss what are the types of public policy. Let us discuss. Let us start. Public policy is a mean to make a government popular. If a government will have good public policies, it will become popular. And if a government will not have good public policy, it will be defamed. So public policies determine the popularity of a government. So public policy is very important. And public policy is not one type. There are many types of public policy. Try to be clear. Number one, distributive public policy. Distributive public policy means sometimes government makes public policy for a particular segment of people, not for all. For example, policy for senior citizens, policy for backward people. So whenever government will make public policy for a particular segment of people, it is distributive policy. Number two, redistributive policy. Redistributive policy means its object is to reduce inequalities in the society. In every society, rich people and poor people are staying. So government, by means of imposing taxes on rich people, it takes the money and it distributes the money among the poor people. So the object of redistributive policy is to promote equality in the society. It brings money from the rich people by means of tax and distributes among other people. By this, it maintains equality. And the best example is income tax. And number three, regulatory policy. Regulatory policy is also a type of public policy. By means of regulatory policy, government regulates, controls activities of some trade and professions. By means of regulatory activities, government controls activities, trade and business. For example, Board of Cricket of India, it controls cricket. Then the Reserve Bank of India, it controls other banks. So regulatory policy is a policy by means of which government regulates certain activities, professions and business. And number four, constituent policy. Constituent policy means by means of this policy, government reconstitutes, reorganizes an institution. For example, there was a time when Election Commission of India had only one member. Now it is reconstituted. Now the strength of election commission is 3. So constituent policy is a policy by means of which an organization or an institution is reconstituted. Okay, very good. Now 5, conflict policy. Conflict policy is a policy where an object is achieved at the cost of other. In society, a lot of objects are found, but by means of conflict policy, one object is achieved at the cost of other. Bargaining policy. Bargaining policy is a policy which says who gets what, how much, who gets what, who gets more, who gets less. Means by means of this policy, government studies by investing people, how much people will be benefited. If by investing people, more people will be benefited in one area, and in another area, by investing the same amount of money, a less number of people will be benefited, then the government will adopt the former. The government will bargain the policy. The government will see by the policy how much people will be benefited, more or less. Then this is all about the 6 important type policy. Now see, McKinney and Howard, they have categorized public policy into 3 categories: fundamental policy, major policy, function policy. Fundamental policy means it is derived from the constitution, it is changed by the constitutional provisions, it has long tenure, wide application, and it is very important. Major policy, it is a policy which is prepared by the legislature. The legislature prepares the policy. It is the general policy. It is the general law. Functional policy. Functional policy means once the legislature will make the policy, then it will come to the executive. Then executive will frame the policy in which way to execute the policy. It is the function of executive to implement the policy. For the implementation, it prepares a policy known as the functional policy. Then Drawer says that policy is 2 types: mega policy, meta policy. Mega policy means it is a master policy. It is a policy within which lot of policies are prepared. Under a mega policy, a lot of policies are prepared. It is a master policy. Then what is a meta policy? Meta policy means it is a policy which only mentions that how a better policy will have to prepare, what structure is necessary, what procedures is necessary, so that a better policy will be prepared. It relates to the policy making. It speaks how a better policy will be prepared on this much. So we have discussed about varieties of public policy. Now we'll discuss scopes of public policy. Scope of public policy means public policy gives us a lot of knowledges. Number 1, policy demands. Policy demand means whenever there will be any problem in a society and people demand a solution, at the time government will take a decision in form of policy. So policy demand means whenever there will be any problem in society and people demand before the government to take some step, at that time government prepares a policy to solve it. Number 2, policy goals. By means of policy, second scope of public policy is that in public policy goals are mentioned, what to be achieved. Then policy decisions. Policy decision means a decision is taken. A decision is taken by the executives. It must be approved by the legislature and the president will have to give the approval. So policy decision means the decision of the government. Policy statements. Policy statement means here the policy is expressed. The objectives of policy are articulated. Policy outputs. Policy output means the process by which objective will have to be achieved. the procedure by which objective will have to be achieved. Finally, policy outcome means by the policy, how much people will be benefited, how much advantages people will get. So this is all about the scopes of public policy. Now we'll take up different models of public policy. The first model of public policy, is system model of public policy. The first model is system model. System model has been told by David Weston. David Weston speaks that in the society there is a government known as political system, and people will demand many things before the government. It is known as inputs, and government after receiving these demands take a decision. This is known as the output. So system model speaks that people will demand many things before the government. It is known as input. Government after looking at these inputs take a decision is known as the output. This is the system model, and the procedure with which inputs are converted into output, it is known as the conversion process. Then institutional model of public policy. Institutional model of public policy speaks that government has a lot of institutions like legislature, executive, judiciary, bureaucracy. These institutions will frame a policy, and whenever these institutions will frame the policy has the policy will have three characteristics. Number one, the policy will be legal. Everybody will have to obey. Number two, the policy will be universal. It will affect all. And number three, coercion. Everybody will have to respect the policy. Otherwise, they will be punished. This is the institutional model. Number three, rational policy making. Rational policy making means for every problem there are alternatives, and that alternative will be selected which saves time, which saves cost, and saves expenditure. Or in other words, rational policy making means for every type of problem there are various alternatives, but the best alternative will have to be selected which saves cost and saves expenditure. Number four, Lindblom's incremental model. Lindblom's incremental model is a model which speaks that every government has some past decisions. Every government has some executive decisions of the past. These executive decisions will have to be brought at the base. Then, with that executive decision, changes and modification will have to be made. In this way, public policy will be made. So, in this system, the historical decisions will have a link with the future goals and visions. It means the past policy will have to be brought, the past decision will have to be made base, and changes will be made with it. It is known as Lindblom's incremental model. Then Simon's satisfying policy making model. Simon's satisfying policy making model. It means this is a model who speaks that for every type of problem there are alternative solutions, but that solution will have to be selected which will be gainer. For example, one stock will give more profit than the other. Then the stock which will give more profit than the other, it will have to be accepted. So Simon's satisfying model speaks that for a problem there are many alternatives. That alternative will be selected which will be economical. Like one stock will give more benefit than the other. Then Doer's normative optimum model. In Doer's normative optimum model, it is a model which speaks two things. First of all, for a solution, different alternatives are found, but the best alternative will have to be selected, plus it should be related with the reality. So best alternative will have to be selected, plus that alternative must be related with the reality. This is what Doer's normative optimum model. Then mixed model of hog, wood and gone. This model speaks that for every policy, 9 steps must be taken into account. Number 1, deciding to decide means agenda will have to be fixed. Deciding how to decide, there will be setting of agenda. Issue of definition, debate on discussion. Number 3, forecasting, prediction or estimation of the future. Setting objectives and priority, plan goals and achieving time. Setting objectives and priority means plan goals and achieve it within time scale. Option analysis means changes over time affect cost and benefit. By the change, if there will be delay, it will affect the cost and benefit. Then policy implementation, monitoring and control. Whenever policy will be made, it will be implemented, it will be monitored and it will be controlled. 8, evaluation and review. The policy will have to be evaluated from time to time. Then policy implementation, succession, termination. Policy will be implemented. If it will not be good, succession, it will be replaced. Number 3, termination. If it will not be better, it will be terminated. It will be withdrawn. Finally, political public policy model. Political public policy model is a model which speaks that if in a constituency there will be a problem, then government will make a policy to solve that problem. It means there will be an interactions between people and the government. It means if in a constituency there will be any problem, government will make a policy to solve that problem. So in this video we have discussed types of public policy, scopes of public policy and models associated with public policy. This is an important video. I request my viewers to watch this attentively. It will make you clear about many doubts. I request you to subscribe the channel. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Request your friend to subscribe because help to your friends is service to God. Thank you. Again, I will be here with another video. Till now, goodbye to all.